Hey everyone, welcome to Steph and Key TV. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps our channel and we really appreciate it. And please hit that notification bell so you're in the know when I release a new video. All right, Atlanta, let's get into it. All right, so we pick up where we left off. Kenya and Marlo going at it. Candy tries to stop Marlo from leaving. She's like, I'm not leaving, I'm just getting some ice. And they're just still going at it. Like, Marlo won't let it go. She's just like, Kenya, like, I don't know what it is. Like, you read me for filth. I can't outread you. I think they're pretty even match when it comes to reading each other. But Kenya's like, you keep coming after me. And Marlo's like, well, you keep coming after me. And then, like, Cynthia is finally like, well, they show clips of them going after each other. They have been going after each other for years. And Cynthia's just like, please, like, ladies, like, we know you're never gonna be best friends. Can you guys just be cordial and, like, let's just drop it because it's exhausting. And everybody's like, yes, it's exhausting for us to watch you go through this. So please just stop. So they finally stop. They start laughing and they're like, let's. Portia suggests them playing a game. Kenya's like, oh my gosh, I forgot about the game. On the count of 3, let's all go run upstairs and go to bed. And the leaders are like, yeah, that's not the kind of game we were talking about. But they all get up because they're going to play a game. Portia suggests Never Have I Ever because she played it in jail. Like, y'all playing Never Have I Ever in jail, though? Like, what? Okay. Okay. So they all disperse. Kenya's nanny brings over Brooklyn, and then they go upstairs, and the rest of the ladies are getting dressed for, like, the little night session. So Portia and Shamia are in the kitchen with Cynthia. Cynthia is packing up some food to take back to Mike. Some of the pig, she's taking it back to Mike, and some skins for her mom. And Shamia's like, not the mama too? Like, so they are frying Cynthia because she is packing up. They're saying, like, how you gonna be dressed like a niece but acting like an auntie, packing up a whole to-go bag for your husband. And it's like, when we're out of town, like, but she was packing it up too in that Ziploc bag, like, stuffing it. A mess. Portia tries to fake like she's gonna eat one of the skins. She ain't gonna last as a vegan. She's tried it before. Portia is not gonna last. I'm sorry, girl. I mean, at least you tried. So the rest of the ladies are downstairs in the living room. They fix the couches from Marlo's room and make it back into a living room. Fallon comes back over and she's hanging out with all the ladies. Everyone's there except for Kenya. So Candy goes upstairs to get Kenya. She's like knocking on the door, like, hello, come on, are you coming downstairs? Kenya's like, why you bring the cameras upstairs? And she's like, I didn't. Like, they followed me upstairs. And so she's like, are you coming down? She's like, I'm not coming down. And she's like, Candy's like, you don't have anyone to be with Brooklyn right now? And she's like, no. She's like, no, I don't. Sorry, I'm not coming down. So then Candy's pissed and she goes downstairs to deliver the news to the ladies, and it's not gonna be good. I can feel it. All right, so this went as well as I thought it would. All of the ladies are pissed. Candy's like, yeah, Brooklyn's up there and Kenya's not coming down. So they're like, okay, so, like, she has the nanny here. She brought the nanny for a reason. The nanny could have stayed with Brooklyn for a few more hours while we all hung out. Like, if she's just gonna, like, have her baby there at night, why couldn't we have had the option to bring our babies? And this is the problem, Kenya. I've said from the jump that I had no problem with Kenya bringing her child. If she does not have help full time, and she's bringing her nanny with her so that her baby could be with her, no problem. But give the ladies the option to bring their babies too. Like, you can't have this, like, a girls trip and then at night I get to be with my baby. You ladies don't. Like, that's just terrible host. Terrible. So they're all, like, just pissed off. They're just talking about, like, even Latoya, like, who's been, like, Kenya's ride or die this season, is just like, yeah, I don't agree with it either. Candy's, like, pissed. She's had enough. She's been on Kenya's side explaining everything, but she's just like, I, like, like I have a baby too, like a brand new baby too, who I didn't know if I would have, like how great our bond would be because Candy had a surrogate, and I was worried about how close our bond would be. But she says Blaze is the most clingy. Blaze is a mommy's girl, and she cries every time I get off FaceTime with her. And the fact that I don't get to be with her right now, like, and I feel like another reason why Candy was probably like worried about that, because Candy is a workaholic. She works so much, she's always gone, which is why people were confused as to why she was having another baby in the first place. But I feel like because of the pandemic, she's been stuck at home more. She spent a lot more time with Blaze and Ace, and she's really built that bond with Blaze. And now, like with her leaving, like, and it's just I can feel their frustration. I would have no problem with Kenya right now if she had just even given the ladies the option. She's been doing double standards, like she can do this, but then the other ladies can. And then, especially if you're the host and you're planning this trip, you should just give the ladies the option. And it's a hot ass mess, and they're all pissed, so they don't even want to hang out anymore, and they all want to go to bed. And Drew's like, well, hey, if we're just going to bed and not hanging out, I could have stayed my ass at home. Like, I thought it was supposed to be like a fun girls trip. Drew, welcome to the show. Like, this is a mess. Sorry for you, girl. Wish you could have been enjoying a better girls trip, but it is what it is. So it's the next morning. Kenya's daughter Brooklyn goes back with the nanny. Candy checks in with her kids. Drew checks in with that husband of hers. He's packing up the house. She thought they were moving at the end of the month. He's like, nope, movers, you gotta get them when you can, so we're moving today. She's like, wait, what? So, I mean, at least she gets to be relaxing and not have to move anything, because moving sucks. I hate packing, I hate moving, and I hate unpacking. So, just be glad you're on vacation, girl. And then, Cynthia is talking to Mike and telling him about the trip. So then the ladies rush into a room. They're planning Cynthia's bachelorette party. So Candy tells them everything that's going on. She's like got them costumes. She got the stripper. She's even got them like 1401 so they could, make it rain. I was like, okay, Candy, she took care of everything. So the ladies getting their costumes, they're gonna put everything away, get ready and stuff. I guess the ladies are gonna work out, but Latoya is gonna host a workout, and then they're gonna go to dinner. And Candy says that babysitter better be here all night. And Kenya's like, well, she can't stay here all night. And now they need to have a conversation because of last night. So, Lord, I feel like maybe Kenya should have brought 2 nannies. Yes, because I understand, like, Kenya can't have... It makes sense that her nanny can't work all day, all night, but if you're not going to be participating in the activities, then you should have brought some extra help. And you say you have money to do it, so why aren't you doing it? So Kenya's like, okay, so give me some examples of what's been going on. Do not ever ask Candy for examples. She is like an elephant. She never forgets. It's an elephant, right? Whatever it is, she never forgets. She has a list of things, and go back and watch any of the seasons. They'll ask her for example. She remembers everything. So she's like, first a private jet, then the crab cake sandwich. She's like, I didn't really care about the private jet, but that sandwich, I would have loved to have some of that sandwich, or have like a nice meal for myself as well. Then the Marlo thing. For me, I didn't really agree with Candy about the Marlo thing. I think Marlo and Kenya go at each other, so it wasn't a surprise to me that Marlo got a crappy room. But I mean, if you're not hosting the trip and you insult the host, don't expect a nice room. And then the baby situation for the previous night, where she just disappeared, didn't come back down, and she got to sleep with her baby and the rest of the women didn't. That situation, I feel like I'm on their side. Like, let's just say that Mark was helping out with Brooklyn, and he did watch Brooklyn. Let's say that Portia brought her baby and nobody else did. Kenya would have had a fit. A fit. She would have had a fit. She's had fits in the past. I think, what was it, Kim Fields, when she brought her kids? Like, come on. Like, Kenya, you want people to be understanding of you, but you need to be reasonable yourself. Like, if you in the past have acted a certain way because of a situation, don't all of a sudden expect people to be sympathetic to your needs. I feel like she needs to meet people halfway, and she doesn't understand that she's the host of this trip. It's not like we all planned the trip and we're all doing our own thing and we're coming together. No, you planned the trip, you set out, you laid things out, and now you're mad when like you're not letting your guests know what's up. Kenya. So Kenya breaks down, and now I feel bad. She's going through a lot because she married that horrible man, and he's just being evil and trying to control her life and Brooklyn's life, even as they're separated. So I understand that she's going through a lot, and she doesn't trust these women because these women really aren't her friends. I would say, other than like Candy and Cynthia, the rest of the women aren't her real friends. So I understand why she wouldn't confide in them and tell them about the mess that's going on, but I would suggest, if you are going through a lot and you need special circumstances, that you make it clear from the jump so that it's not a surprise to people and people don't feel like you're trying to run game on them and that you're doing double standard stuff. And I feel like it would be in your best interest just to be upfront. Like, if she had just told them, look, ladies, I need to bring Brooklyn with me. Mark is a tyrant. I don't have anybody else to watch my baby. I don't feel comfortable with a new nanny watching her while I'm not there. So they're coming with me. If you like to bring your baby, do so. Make arrangements so that it's not interfering with our everyday, and then at night we can all go and be with our babies. Glorious. If anybody had any complaints later on, it would have been on them. The food situation, all of that, like, just be upfront. So then she like goes to the ladies, she apologizes to everyone. I don't think they're like here for it because it's kind of like too little too late, but she apologizes, and now like Latoya is gonna lead the workout. She throws shade talking about like some of us need it, and I'm like, okay, look, lady, we've been suffering in a pandemic. You don't need to be throwing shade, all right? We know we need to work out, but don't be rude about it. So they're working out, and Portia's not feeling it, and neither is Drew because her ankle still hurts. So they sit down and they're just chatting about all the craziness that's been going on. Drew just feels like all the women are being fake. She's like, y'all fighting and clawing each other's throats, and then the next minute you're laughing and giggling and doing dances and working out, and it's like, I don't understand what's going on. There's so much negativity. She's like, I could be at home. I mean, I wouldn't want to be home with that Ralph, but she'd much rather be at home with her family than dealing with this nonsense. That I can understand. But like Portia's just like, you know, it is what it is. But it'd probably be better received from one of her friends. And Drew was like, well, I thought you were like the Black Lives Matter chick. You could like lead us into some resolution. And Portia's like, no, because that's a Black lives that I actually care about. Our relationship don't matter. So her relationship with Kenya doesn't matter, which I thought was messed up. But I guess, I mean, they're not friends, so it is what it is. These women. So all the ladies are done with their workout. They go back in the house and they're waiting to hear the news on the Breonna Taylor case. This was very hard to watch because we've already dealt with it in real life, and having to watch it again was just as rough, and having to still be dealing with these issues is even worse. So I don't know. I feel like it's important to talk about this stuff, but just having to, as Black people, to keep dealing with this and keep watching it, and it's just like, kind of wanted like a break from this for this episode. But this is an important topic that we need to talk about. I don't want to talk about it too much. I've talked about it at length before in previous videos, and my frustration just being a Black woman in this country. What I thought was interesting was Tanya and Latoya talking about, since they're from Canada, like, of course, there's racism globally, but just them talking about how, like, growing up, they didn't have to deal with this kind of police brutality as massive as it is here in the US. Like, it was very different in Canada for them, so it's a very different experience for them, which I thought was really interesting, like an interesting different point of view. And it just goes to show how long this is, like, the different experience as Black Americans, like Black Americans that are descendants from slaves in this country, in the US, how different our experience is here and dealing with racism and in slavery and the civil rights movement and Jim Crow and gentrification and police brutality, and like, it's just a lot to deal with, and it's a very different experience than, I would say, most Black people in this world. Like I said, there's racism globally, but this is just different here, and so it was interesting to see their point of view, being Black Canadians. So, but we know the verdict and we know the situation, so it's just horrible and it's troubling, and I just hope things change. So the ladies are getting ready for dinner. Drew and Tanya are the first ones in the kitchen. So Drew asked Tanya, like, about herself. She's like, I don't know much about you. Are you married? And Tanya's like, no, I've been with my life partner for 9 years. And Drew's like, oh, life partner? She's like, yeah. She's like, I say husband, but like, people ask if we're married and we're not, so I just say life partner. And so Drew says, do you want kids? We know that Tanya wants kids, but Drew's like, so you don't want to get married? And she's like, okay, I'll say this because Cynthia's not here and Candy's also sitting with them, and she's like, it's like my worst nightmare trying to plan a wedding. So I don't think Tanya's getting married anytime soon, and I don't blame her. I feel like even with money, like, trying to plan a wedding seems like a lot. I had a very small wedding, like teeny tiny small wedding, so I didn't have to deal with that. But I'm sure, like, the fun things, I didn't do like bachelorette party and a wedding shower. That would have been fun, but everything else I did not miss because it looks like a lot. So the ladies are at dinner, getting ready to grab, they're picking their seats. Latoya's like, oh, Drew, you don't want to sit over here? And Drew's like, oh, you just gonna keep dragging that fan joke, huh? And so Drew decides to bring up another game for them, as if, like, we didn't even get to play the last game. Here she goes. Let's play a game called the realist or the fakest. And everybody's like, okay. Okay, Drew. So she decides to address her concerns about what happened, what's been going on with the trip. I don't know how this is a game. Can somebody explain the rules? She starts talking about how all of y'all laughing, having a good time, and then you're fighting and being catty, and then she's like, now, like, I don't understand, like, who's real, who's fake. And then Kenya, like, last night, you know, about the situation with your daughter. And Kenya's like, why are we having this conversation right now? If you want to know about my daughter, you can ask me. We can go for a walk and talk about my daughter, but why do we have to have this conversation here right now? Cynthia's like, last night went all the way left, and Toya's like, and tonight's about to go all the way left. Lord, like, can these ladies just eat? I'd be like, can we just eat? And then you guys can do this? I'm hungry. So the rest of the ladies like, yeah, we were supposed to be playing a game and then you just disappeared. Kenya's like, okay, look, I had to be with my daughter. I'm a single mom. I had to do what's best for me and my daughter. And Drew's like, okay, that explanation would have been great last night, but you just disappeared. And Kenya's in her confessional is like, what is this girl's problem? I've been nothing but nice to her face, but behind her back, Kenya, you said some horrible stuff about Drew. But to her face, she's been very nice, so I'll give her that. And she's just like, why is she attacking me? So Kenya's just trying to explain her situation, and they just feel like it would have, if you would just been upfront, like we've been saying, maybe this wouldn't have been such a big deal. Tanya at the end of the table is ordering her appetizers. She's not paying attention whatsoever. A mess. So Kenya's like, okay, so you guys want me to apologize, but then you were ignoring me ordering your appetizers. Tanya's like, okay, we're listening. Her and Marlo say like they didn't feel like when Kenya came down to talk to them about Brooklyn being there that it was an apology. But the editor is running it back and she apologized multiple times. So Tanya, clearly you weren't paying attention. But like Kenya is just like, I feel like I understand Tanya's point as far as like, if you're you're the host of this trip, but you act like you don't want to be around us. So like, why are you hosting the trip then? You could have just went on a trip by yourself. Like if you're gonna host this trip for Bravo, like if you're gonna host this trip, then be a host of the trip. Or otherwise, like let somebody else host the trip. You could have given them the idea, they could have hosted a trip and you could have sat back and chilled, because you really do act like you don't want to be around these ladies. So they're all going back and forth. She gets mad at Candy and Portia because they're on their phone, and Marlo's like, but you be on your phone too. And she's like, I'm not on my phone right now. And Marlo's like, you like, when you want people's attention, then they have to give it to you. And I kind of agree with that as well. Like if it's Kenya's, like if Kenya doesn't want to partake in the argument or anything, she can leave and everybody just has to deal with it. But if anybody else like gets on their phone or ignores her, then she's upset, and like everybody has to stop what they're doing and pay attention. Kenya can do whatever she wants, but they can't. And I feel like that's where the double standards are coming in, and she's not getting it. So now her and Portia are going at it. Portia's not with it. She's like, go ahead and give them your little sob story, and I'm not gonna be paying attention. Like pretty much. She's like, I haven't said anything this whole time, and now she's unleashing. Her and Kenya are going back and forth. Kenya's like, don't judge me as a mother. And she said, y'all want to be like, you talk about supporting women and being uplifting women. If you want to be my support, be my village then. Support me. Whew. So Cynthia is like, look, Kenya, we understand. Just be upfront. And I think that's what everybody's asking. Just be upfront about the situation so everybody knows what's going on and can plan accordingly. I can understand why Kenya doesn't feel like she has a like a sisterhood with these women, because half these women are not her friends. But you can't build friendships if you keep building walls and barriers and not communicating with people. Then you won't have a sisterhood, you won't have a village, you won't have support. And you need, because you don't have it. So Kenya apologizes again. Hopefully this can be the end of it. They're saved by the food. It comes in the nick of time. They grub. Shamia gets them all to give their fakest laugh so they can just let it out. And now they're off back to the house. Candy has the stripper in the box waiting for them. They've been teasing out the stripper gate for the longest time. I hate when Bravo does this, but it's finally gonna happen next episode, I'm assuming, because he's in the box, and we can't have another episode where it's like almost here. So I'm ready for this. Let's just get it over with, y'all. All right, so that is the end of this episode. Please let me know what you thought of episode 9, right? It's episode 9? Yep, episode 9 in the comments below. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and hit that notification bell so you're in the know when I release a new video. And subscribe. I would love to have you a part of Steph and Key TV. All right, everyone, be safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.